we go to the San Francisco 49ers, my preseason pick to win the Super Bowl. Full disclosure, they were my preseason pick to win the Super Bowl last year as well. They are -6. That's a big number against a very, very good, maybe the best AFC team in the league here. Baltimore Ravens, again, a 6-point total, a 48.5 a 48.5 point total, 6-point spread. Let's go to Mike. Mike, you have an SGP that I'm very intrigued by here. So let's go there first.
All right, Sia. This SGP, again, on MGM, very favorable numbers available over there. You cannot get it on certain other books, and it's priced appropriately on other books, not so much over on MGM. So we're banking on market efficiency, looking at this game. It's been on the board the longest out of all of the games up there, and I think that the market moves the number to a relatively efficient point. So I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens on an alternate spread plus 15.5. And the 49ers plus 3.5 on their alternate spread. And then the total over 36.5. Again, 36.5, very, very key here, not 37.5. 36.5 gets you home with a 20-17 victory on either side. That is essentially the lowest scoring game that I see. Now, when I look at the Sims and everything here, this implies 44.5% at plus 125. I actually have it right above 50%, like 50.5%. So a pretty significant edge. If you go try and build this on other sports books, you will find that the price point is closer to -105, -110, which would make it about fair value, starting to be negative EV. But currently, you can build this SGP over on BetMGM. Again, 15.5, very key to me, more key than 14.5. If you want to play 14.5, go for it. But we're banking on market efficiency here and very key number of 37.
Guzzle Money says, my brain hurts after listening to you, Mike. Mike, I mean, Guzzle Money, you're not the only one. Sometimes when Mike talks, my brain hurts too, because it's a lot to process. But trust me, you can build that parlay. And I love the edge that Mike McClure just gave out there. I mean, it sounded to me like you got like a 6% edge on that, right, Mike?
Yes, very rare. It doesn't happen often. Again, it's mostly fair value on every other book. But at MGM, they will let you play 36.5. Again, if you try and shop on other books, you'll have 35.5 and 37.5. They won't even give you the option for 36.5 intentionally, because it is a very, very key number of 37.
Absolutely love it. All right, Larry, I'm going to go to you next because, well, first of all, I can't go to Danny next because Danny and I might have an issue where Jake might have to step in here. So we'll wait on that. Larry, last week, I was really surprised because as good as I think San Francisco is, and I've been betting on them really this whole year, even coming off that 3-game losing streak, I was all over them against the Jaguars. I thought that was a hilarious spread. They smashed it. I was all over them going into Philly to play the Eagles. They smashed that one. But I got to admit, last week, I saw some issues protecting the running game. I mean, James Conner was running all over the San Francisco 49ers. And even though Alex P. Keaton Mitchell is not going to play the rest of the year, they still have Gus Edwards, and that's where you're going with this prop. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, the 49ers, that was alarming. 7.8 yards per carry allowed, not just to Connor, but to the backup and to Kyler. 234 yards on the ground. It's actually the third game where they have been gashed, and the mobile quarterback that gave them issues. Well, now you have obviously Lamar Jackson, who is going to take a lot of attention, and Gus Edwards. I mean, this number is so low, over 39.5. He got 16 carries last week when Keaton Mitchell went out. I think he's definitely going to get double-digit carries here, and there's no Armstead. Javon Hargrave is questionable. Hufanga out for the season. They've just lost some things from that D-line. They're still good, but they're not the dominant force against the run that they used to be. They're actually 20th in yards per carry allowed for the season. To me, this is just a very good number when you talk about a game that should be competitive, where they shouldn't have to get away from the run. If they do, that will probably only be in the fourth quarter. Love this play over 39.5.
Yeah, I got to concede. I mean, I'll just touch on my play real quick here because I got to concede. That does make me nervous. And I have the 49ers here -6. And I will admit I might be being a little bit stubborn here with all my 49ers plays, but I do think this offense is even more efficient than, let's say, the Rams offense. And the Rams offense went into Baltimore 2 weeks ago and put up 31 points. The game went into overtime. The Rams probably should have won that game. If you watch that game, you know what I'm talking about. But the long and short of it is, I just don't think this offense can really be stopped. And I've seen enough from a Lamar Jackson-led offense where they can be stymied here and there. They do have issues across their offensive line. They do have Keaton Mitchell is out. They do have issues at the receiver in terms of, okay, we know Mark Andrews is out, but also, Zay Flowers is a little banged up. Odell Beckham can get banged up here and there, and his targets have been going down. Isaiah Likely stepping in. I mean, he's formidable for sure, but I just don't know that they have enough to keep pace with a healthy 49ers offense. When you have Trent Williams, when you have Deebo Samuel, and of course, Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, the list goes on and on. The only guy out is Juwan Jennings, and you got probably Bell or Conley coming in for him. So I'm going to go ahead and roll again with the Niners -6. But Danny, that brings me to you because, again, I have not hesitated in saying you are a very sharp bettor. I give you credit, no disrespect meant, but you are clearly on the other side than me. And maybe it's the sharp side, but talk to me about why you like the Ravens +6.
See, I hate to be against you on Christmas Day. Nothing makes me more upset, man.
Cool.
But on the first day of Christmas, the sports books gave to us Ravens +6. This is entirely too many points in a matchup like this, in my opinion. I think the market is way too high on the 49ers. You could have made the 49ers -9.5 favorites, and I think everyone would have gone and bet them anyway. Lamar Jackson is 11-2 against the spread when playing as an underdog. John Harbaugh, over the last 10 years, the most profitable road underdog against the spread, 26-11-2 for his career as a road dog. The matchup problems, I agree with a lot of the points that Larry made. I think the Niners are beatable on the ground. That rush attack will give them fits. And for the 49ers offense that has been absolutely rolling, they haven't faced a good secondary in 2 months. And the last time they did, they lost to P.J. Walker and the Cleveland Browns. So, and they are actually in a 3-game losing streak, including a loss to Brian Flores' Vikings. I think this defense may be a wake-up call for them. I think everyone's ready to crown the 49ers kings. Brock Purdy crowned MVP already, and Lamar Jackson and the Ravens might have something to say about that. They're well aware that they are the betting underdogs. They've been talking about it. Hey, you know what happens when people doubt us? And I like the motivation here. So I think they're going to prove that it's not a foregone conclusion that San Fran is going to be Super Bowl champs. Baltimore is in this mix, and I think they'll cover this number. I'm also going to sprinkle the money line at +210. Look out for Lamar and the Ravens to make a statement game here.
Money line +210. Not afraid at all, Danny. Hey, Mike, I see you shaking your head. Before we get to the NBA real quick, I want your take here. I know you don't play sides a ton. If you had to take one side here, which side would it be? Would it be the dog, the Ravens?
At 6, yes. At 5.5, no.
Yeah.
If I had to at anything at 6, I would. I think the game can be very competitive. I think that it's incredibly important on the Baltimore side to win this game. I think they're going to put the football in Lamar's hands a ton. What I honestly think this game comes down to, does Lamar Jackson fumble the football while running? Because I think he runs the football a ton tonight.